Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week thus far. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Of course, we're going to first off, as always, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So we're going to give people a chance to come in before we get started. Um, um, as I said, we're just giving people a chance to come in before we get started. We're gonna, let's see, in a moment, I guess in another minute and a half or so, I'll probably go over what's on tap for tonight. Um, oh, and I said, hopefully everybody's having a good week thus far. Um, if you're watching any any good cartoons or animes, feel free to bring that up. Um anyway, let me see. I try to. Nothing there. Let's see, 2.5 minutes, so a little bit longer here. All right. Oh, yeah, we are just about okay. All right, so now we're at the 3 minute mark. So here's what's on tap for tonight. Of course, I've got one article. One article I'm going to go over tonight. Comics related article from Bleeding Fool, in which we're going to talk about. This is initially going to be kind of an article I was going to try to do last night, but we just ran out of time. Celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Terminator in comics with a Humble Bundle. That's going to be the article we're going to go over. Of course, we'll have the rest and wrap up, get you caught up on what happened on um, last night's Monday Night Raw, as well as looking at you know what's on tap for tonight's NXT. Is of course coming off the events over the weekend of Bash of Berlin. See how things are moving forward. Coming off the Bash of Berlin, as NXT No Mercy. Some of the big news stories out of there. We'll talk. Probably give a passing mention. This Saturday, of course, is all out in Chicago for AEW. We might give a passing mention to what's going to be going down on tomorrow night's Dynamite, what we know thus far, as they prepare for this Saturday's Dynamite. They'll actually be having both Rampage and Collision this Friday. So, and then of course this day needs history. So with that, why don't we go ahead and get started then? So let me go ahead and pull up the article here. As soon as I find it, there it is. All right, so here we go. Let's get started with the article here. All right. Celebrate 40th anniversary of The Terminator, in smaller quotes, in comics with Humble Bundle. Article by John Pallister, published yesterday, the 2nd. So let's see what we have here. He said he'd be back, and he is, again, 40 years later. The Terminator is one of the most heralded and influential films of all time, innovating the action blockbuster formula and introducing fans to an incredible science fiction mythos. Of course, the Terminator starring of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Um, let's see. Its impact was felt across media, and particularly in strings of critically acclaimed and best-selling comic books through the eras. Dynamite Entertainment has teamed up with Humble Bundle in celebrating the film and franchise's 40th anniversary with an unbeatable deal on nearly every Terminator comic ever produced for one outstanding price. Live to purchase right now, the bundle will only be available for a limited time, so get yours. The Terminator comics kicked off right as the 1990s began, and through its original licensed publishers of Dark Horse and Now Comics, so many talented writers and artists contributed to the saga with their own takes on the titular killing machines, the dastardly aims of Skynet, and the resistance fighters through the ages. And again, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing this, see if we can get some more people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here that we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the question to the best of our ability. So, as we continue on here with the article, 49 Volume 2. The bundle of digital comics is bursting at the seams and available in multiple tiers for readers to fit their budgets, all under $20 at even the fullest of them. So depending on how many books, that sounds like a pretty good deal. If that's, you're talking about all the books that have ever been made in regards to Terminator, you put all those together and get that for that whole franchise of comic books for $20. That sounds like a very good deal. Doing the math, the haul that fans can walk away with comes out to just shy of a whopping 50 issues of comic storytelling, and that's a jaw-dropping 1,350 pages. So you're getting 50 issues of a comic book for $20. 50, so $2.50. That's probably the price it was maybe about 15, 20 years ago. Compared to today's prices, that's actually still a pretty good, deal. That's still a pretty good deal right there. Compared to today's prices, where you're paying like $5, $6, $7 for one copy, for one issue. And that's it. Okay, yeah. Not only is this the best quick comprehensive way to add all these comics to your digital collection forever, it truly is an unbeatable deal. Yeah, compared to what comics are selling nowadays, that's an exceptional deal, I'd say. If you guys agree, feel free to comment on that. So let's see. Highlights of the bundle include the 1991 special by writer James Robinson, who was also involved in Starman, Justice League of America, and artist Wagner, Batman Mage. Then, in secondary objectives, Robinson is joined by cult classic virtuoso Paul um, Gulacy, who was also involved with Master of Kung Fu and Batman. The later 1998 special that marked a second major era for the Dark Horse material features legendary artist Guy Davis of BPRD fame, as well as the Marquis. Perhaps the most memorable of them all is The Burning Earth, which was the first major interior painted artwork by Alex Ross, one of the biggest creators ever. Other creators with work in this bundle include John Arcudi, Chris Warner, Ian Eddington, Vince Giordano, Butch Guice, Alan Grant, Steve Pugh, Ron Fortier, Zach Whedon, Andy McDonald, Brian Wood, Jeff Stokely, and more. Oh, they're really pushing this all out, aren't they? We do hello, let's see what we have here. The back's gone. How will you feel if a Japanese anime was not distributed to the West, particularly U.S. Massachusetts? How would I? Well, I mean, that's just the nature of the business. It's that's just the general nature of the business. It's like, sometimes they'll dub an anime, sometimes they won't. I mean, if they do dub it and it comes out, I'll try to watch it at some point. But if not, Massachusetts and the entirety of New England has a large anime presence. The New England Anime Society, Anime Boston. Well, I know they have cons up there. Maybe they have more of a fan presence there. I don't know of any studios up there, though. Any major studios. Rene never got a dub. Well, which Rene? I've seen a few titles called Rene before, and I believe one did, but I don't know if it's the same one that you and I that you're probably talking about. Rene, I've seen that word before. I know there are probably, I think, a few anime with that in the name. One of them, one of those anime with that name did get a dub. It may not be the one that you're thinking of, though. But there are no cons in the Philadelphia area. Only New York City, New England, and Washington. Well, on the East Coast there are. I mean, here on the West Coast where I'm at, of course, we got Anime Expo every summer, which is actually said to be the biggest convention of all anime conventions. I also have Anime Matsuri in Houston. So you're talking about Lagrange? Yeah, that one I know got dubbed Lagrange. Anyways, back to the article here. A portion of all proceeds from the bundle sales will go to charity partner, the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. They do not exactly fight Skynet, but their mission is just as, if not more vital. The historic nonprofit organization fights on the front lines against comic book censorship, with specific focus on the comics and graphic novels medium and its creators. I guess this is the series of books that I guess Dynamite is putting out there. So you got the Terminator from 1990, issues 1 through 4, The Tempest, the Terminator One Shot from 1991, Terminator Secondary Objectives 1 through 4, the Terminator The Enemy Within 1 through 4, the 3 issues of Endgame, the Terminator 1998 special, the Terminator Dark Valley 1 through 4, the Dark Years 1 through 4, Hunters and Killers 1 through 3, Dark Horse Presents number 138, Suicide Run, Terminator Burning Earth 1 through 4, the Terminator 2029 1 through 3, Terminator 1984 1 through 3, and the Terminator Sector War 1 through 4. And here are some of the covers here for said. You see, you got the Tempest, One Shot, Secondary Objective, Emily and the Enemy Within, Endgame, Death Valley, The Dark Years, Hunters and Killers. These are some of the covers. Suicide Run, The Burning Earth, 2029, 1984, Sector War. Don't miss these limited deals, the Terminator 40th Anniversary Bundle. So that's the only article we were going to go over tonight. Let's see where we're at on time here. See if you guys are bringing up anything of any. See what more conversation you guys are bringing into the fold here. Let's see now. All right. I'm also asking if something from Japan is not reported to the west, is not reported to the West. Is that problematic? I don't think so. I mean, well, what do you mean by report? Are you asking if if something's not being dubbed, if there's something problematic about it? I think for the most part, even with some of the stuff that's been going on the last 4 or 5 years here, I think ultimately the decision still comes back to what's going to sell, right? Which animes are going to sell. That's, I think, overall still what companies look for when they decide whether or not they're going to dub a property or they have interest in dubbing a property. Is whether or not it's going to sell. Despite what's been going on the last 4 or 5 years with the woke revolution. Let's see. What more you have to Horny, no papa. If that's supposed to be an anime title, I haven't heard of it. That one, though, if it is an anime title, depending upon the story, I haven't heard anything as whether or not it's going to be dubbed or released here in the States. Dubbed. So there may not be any interest in dubbing it. That's possible. But let's see. Hillary Haig 51 in December. Okay. What is Lord Marksman and Venatus? I have no idea. Haven't even heard of those. I don't know if those are characters or, for example, Atsuko Tanaka's death. Let's see. Well, okay, that didn't get reported until the death actually happened. Yeah, like sometimes people won't report on things. Like if a voice actor or actress is sick, for example, like again, nobody knew. Nobody outside of her family, nobody knew that Atsuko Tanaka was even sick. No less that she passed away until her son came out and told everybody. But the thing was that was at her request. She didn't want people to know. You have to remember the Japanese people tend to be a very private people. They're not, even through some of their creative outlets, right? And individually, they're when it comes to creatively, they'll be willing to be more open and expressive. But when it comes to their own personal lives, a lot of Japanese people are, it's like they prefer to keep their professional life and their personal life separate. Like I know of a Japanese singer who's like that, who's done a number of anime theme songs. I believe her last name was Aki, I believe. When I've looked up information on her, she's done a number of theme songs for a number of shows. I think Mad Lax might have been one. But it's even she's clearly stated that that she prefers to keep her professional and personal life. She doesn't really like discussing and a lot of Japanese people are like that. They don't like to really discuss their own personal lives. Mike, can you review Magi the Labyrinth of Magic? Well, I don't do reviews, but I have seen Magi the Labyrinth of Magic. I think it's pretty cool. I think that whole franchise, Magi the Labyrinth. I think there are a couple other ones as well. That's a pretty good anime series overall. So I don't do reviews though. Or official reviews, that is. That was Mike Sentai 2018. Yes, I criticized Mappa's heinous working conditions. All right. Judy Phonic, Juliet Simmons' sister. Well, let's see. Juliet Simmons' sister, of course, is Genevieve Simmons, if that's who you're talking about. What exactly is that anime? Did it rip off Disney? Which anime are you talking about? Magi, I mean. Magi, let me just go. Yes, I should. Well, it would not have ripped. First off, Disney got, if you think, because the Labyrinth of Magic. Let me just. Yeah, so there was the Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Magi, the Adventures of Sinbad. These were, of course, fantasy adventure mangas that were based on the Arabian stories. That you had, of course, Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, and then Magi, the Adventures of Sinbad. These were titles that were all they were based on the legend of they were based on the stories, some of the stories from Arabian, a thousand nights, stories like Sinbad the Sailor, Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. A lot of the more, and they would not have quote unquote ripped off Disney for that. If anything, Disney may have ripped off the original author of of the tales when they did their versions. But those are and now grant the Japanese have been known to they'll take stories from other places. They not only do a good job with their own history and giving us some good stories of their own history, like Shuro no Toki, Rurouni Kenshin, Hakunin, Hakunin of the East, but also with other properties like or other pieces of history like Le Chevalier d'Eon, among other things. So that's pretty much yeah, but so yeah. But again, the Magi series, as it were, is actually more based on Arabian folklore. Um, Japanese have done that. With Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, and Magi Adventures of Sinbad. They made that's Japan's. That's the Japanese adaptation of portions of 1001 Arabian Tales, right? Let's see. Disney also did their own version of that story, their own adaptation. Like let's see some other examples aside from the ones I get, like Kingdom. Kingdom's another anime that they did in Japan. That was an adaptation of some folklore from China. How China went from their warring states period to becoming a country, right? So let's see. Where are we at now in time? Let's see. Oh, we're at 28 minutes here. Yeah, but I guess going back up to like the idea that I was saying before, though, with Japanese people, they tend to be more of a private people. Let me actually go see if I can go find a particular artist. Let me see now. I was just thinking of here. Okay, let me see. It wasn't her. That's not who I was thinking of. Let's see. Try Noir. Akino Arai, that's who it was. I believe that's who I was thinking of. Akino Arai, that may have been the one I was thinking of. Let me just see here. She's known for having done a few. She's a Japanese singer songwriter born in 1959. Let me see. I know from some of the things I've read before on Akino Arai, she's somebody who doesn't really like to talk a whole lot about her personal life, um, among other things. But like Akino Arai, for example, has done theme song compositions and performances for like Noir, Kaze no Stigma, Die Guard Chobits, Aria the Origination, Ancient Magus Bride, Mate Cross series, Mermaid Scar, Outlaw Star, Record of Lotus War. Basically, right? Like some of the times she's performed include Noir, theme song performance. Let's see. Um, she performed the ending theme song for Tokyo Underground. She performed the opening theme song for the second season of Spice and Wolf. She composed and wrote the lyrics for some of the theme songs for the opening theme song for Record of Lotus War, and then the ending theme song she composed and wrote the lyrics for Record of Lotus War, Chronicles of Heroic Knight. She um, she did the ending theme song performance for Outlaw Star. So, but Akino Arai is one of those who, as I said, was somebody who was um, very private. Does Funimation Sentai have security or receptionist? Well, Funimation doesn't anymore because Funimation no longer exists. Sentai, I don't know because I've never actually been to Sentai Studios, so couldn't tell you. I would imagine they should or would. Um, Doubt very seriously though any company like that would just let anybody just walk in, without somebody intercepting them. You know, um, that some kind of like front desk area, to intercept people. Um, who is the OI Tonbo dubbing cat? I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't watched it. It was uncredited. Well, uncredited. Well, if nobody credited them, then that's going to be a bit of a. Let's see if I can find out some information elsewhere. Oi Tonbo, I believe, right? The one you're asking me about here. Let's see. Oi Tonbo. Yeah. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but I know somebody else asked me about that one too, and they didn't really have a whole lot of information on it back then. I don't know if that's changed now. All right. Let's see one more time here. Let me. If anything, I don't even think it was dubbed. In fact, dubbing was done by Amazon. Well, if it was Amazon Prime, it would have probably been Bang Zoom. Then that would have probably done it, or maybe Studiopolis, one of the two. All right. Oh, hey Tom. Okay. So the license is by Renmo. So now that we know. Yeah, I remember somebody asked me about this too, and we couldn't find any information. I don't, as far as I know, I don't think it ever has been dubbed. There's been no evidence I've seen that it actually ever was dubbed. No matches. Oh, no wonder there wasn't any information on it before. It hadn't. I think the last time somebody asked me about it, it hadn't even come out yet. The first season, anyways. Let's see. Yeah, they're not showing any English cast here. They're not really showing a whole lot of English information. I mean, internet streamings on Amazon Prime, as you said, YouTube, but there's no information as to any production, any like dubbing done by Are they just not? They're just not. You know. Basically, let's see. Anything here about it? That's a golf anime. More cast. On this. Let me see if I can find something else. It's from April. Let's see. Tonbo is a Japanese manga series written by Ken Kawasaki and illustrated by Yu Furusawa. The anime adaptation was adapted by OLM, aired on April through June of 2024. The second season is set to premiere in October of the same year. Let's see. Let's see. Well, okay. Renmo licensed the series and is releasing it on their its anime YouTube channel. The company also streams the series on Amazon Prime Video with an English dub. All right, really. So yeah, the English dub. They did do an English dub. They're just not crediting it for some reason. So Renmo is the one doing it. Um, so yeah, but whatever reason, they're just not choosing. They're just not choosing to tell people who's doing it. It says uncredited. Yeah, I just saw that. Dubbing was done by Amazon Prime. Where exactly is Orange County, California? Southern California, just southeast of LA County. Oh. Anyways, okay, so now we're at the 40-minute mark, so I think it's a good time to start moving on here. We're going to go on to the wrestling wrap-up here. So we're going to go back to, of course, last night. We're going to talk some WWE news here, as, again, kind of the fallout from the weekend's event from Bash at Berlin on Saturday, and then NXT's No Mercy on Sunday. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going down tonight. So first off, last night's results from Monday Night Raw on the as the WWE stars returned from Berlin. The opening match of the evening saw in a mixed six-person tag match, the team of American Made with Chad Gable in their corner of the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, defeating Alpha Academy of Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Akira Tozawa in a mixed six-person tag match. In a singles match, Shayna Baszler defeated Zelina Vega. There were two matches for number one contender. There was a number one contendership tournament going on. Two first round triple threat matches in that tournament. In the first match, Ilya Dragunov defeated Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee. And then the other one, Braun Strowman, defeated Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus, advancing the tournament to name a number one contender to Braun Breaker's Intercontinental. In fact, Braun Breaker had a bit of a message for Jey Uso, trying to intimidate Jey Uso into not participating in the tournament. And hey, Rick. Hey, Rick, thanks for popping in. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask. American Made was the tick on hand. The tick on hand or deflator mouse. Well, not that American Made. The American Made I was talking about was basically a faction that's headed up by Chad Gable in WWE. It's not spelled M-I-A or M-A-I-D. It's spelled M-A-D-E. So, anyways, continuing on with what I was just talking about. In a number one contendership match for the WWE Women's title, Holy Union, who just lost the title to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in Berlin, now have defeated Damage Control. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire defeated Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. Kairi Sane took a very nasty cut to the nose, broke her nose during the match. And in the finals of the main event, or the main event of the evening, saw in a non-title tag team match, Damian Priest and Jey Uso defeat the current WWE Raw tag team champions, the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and JD McDonough. So that's all that happened on Raw last night. Now going into tonight's NXT. Going into tonight's NXT, as it were. on tonight's NXT, coming off of their No Mercy pay-per-view. You'll have in a number one contender triple threat match for the NXT tag team championships. The TNA's Rascals of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Zachary Wentz, who formerly wrestled in the WWE as Nash Carter, versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, and the duo from Gallus of Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, who will have Joe Coffey in their corner. Also in singles action, Oro Mensa will be taking on Lexus King, and Pete Dunne will be taking on Trick Williams. So now moving on, of course, to tomorrow night's Dynamite, as AEW continues to prepare for the All Out pay-per-view this Saturday. Let me talk about what's coming up on tomorrow night's Dynamite. As soon as I pull that up here. Let's see. Tomorrow night's Dynamite. As soon as we grab that. Tomorrow night's Dynamite, which is coming from the UW Panther Arena and already slated for the show. In a non-title 6-man tag team, the current AEW World Trios champions of the Blackpool Combat Club duo of Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta will be teaming with their partner Pac, as they are the current AEW World Trios champions. Will be taking on Will Ospreay and the conglomeration duo of Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, Pac has a date with Will Ospreay at the Saturday's All Out, as Ospreay will be defending the AEW International title against Pac, who's also a former AEW International title. Also slated for tomorrow night, we have a couple of title matches. The Glamour, Mariah May, defends the AEW Women's World title against Nyla Rose, coming about 11 days after winning it from Tony Rose. And then Kazuchika Okada will be defending the Continental title against Kyle Fletcher of the Don Gallows family. So, there we go with that. So now that's all the wrestling wrap-up I've got for you. So now we're going to move on to the This Day in Each History. Today is Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2024. So let's take a look back at this day in each history. So first off, I'm going to head back 40 years ago today. And on this date, 40 years ago today, back in 1984, World Class Championship Wrestling, which at the time was an NWA affiliate, held its Labor Day Star Wars event from the Tarrant County Convention Center in Fort Worth, Texas. In the main event, saw in a 3-on-2 steel cage handicap match in which the loser leaves town for the World Class 6-man Tag Team Championships. The team known as the Cosmic Cowboys of Kerry and Kevin Von Erich defeated the Fabulous Freebirds threesome of Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes, and Buddy Roberts, who were the current champions at the time. It was apparently an elimination match. So Cosmic Cowboys defeated the Fabulous Freebirds in a match to become the new World 6-man tag champions as well as basically forcing the Freebirds to leave the territory. That's what a loser leaves down meant. Killer Khan defeated Terry Gordy in a no disqualification spike match earlier in the evening. Gino Hernandez defeated Mike Von Erich to become the new NWA American Heavyweight Champion. Let's see some other. Michael Hayes defeated the Missing Link via DQ. In a match for the World Class World Television title, Chris Adams defeated Jake Roberts to become the new champion. And the show started off with George Wingeroff defeating Kelly Kiniski. So that happened 40 years ago, back on this date in 1984. And 1984 is just so nice that we're going to hit it twice. As also on this date in 1984, LBS Communications, Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats premiered on this date in first run syndication. On this date back in 1984. On this date back in 1984, 40 years ago today, LBS Entertainment's Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats premiered in first run syndication on this date back in 1984. So there's that. And finally, on this date 10 years ago today, on this date back in 2014, should I pull that up here? So on this date in 2014, 10 years ago today, fifth and final issue of All New Dupe from Marvel Comics went on sale on this date back in 2014. It sold for $1.99. It was 32 pages, 20 pages. The story was written by Peter Milligan, with art by David LaFuente. Clayton Cowles did the lettering, and Laura Allred did the coloring. So the fifth and final issue of All New Dupe went on sale on this date 10 years ago today. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Go check out Rick's show here in a few minutes if you can. We'll be back here with more Neats News tomorrow. Of course, it's Friday. Wonder how many were dupe into buying that. Nice pun there, Mr. Pun Master. Anyways, we'll be back here with more Needs News tomorrow. Rick, of course, I'll send you the link in the morning. Also, this Friday, of course, if Shadowhawk will be with Shadowhawk from Devil Flyer. He's scheduled to be with me to co-host, and we'll be looking back at comics that went on sale from Holyoke. Be introducing you guys to the world of Holyoke. So with that, I thank everyone for being here, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.